Welcome back to Pullman as we had some technical difficulties, had to restart the live stream, but the Lobos lead off the inning with a single from Lenny Ashby, the left fielder who delivered that final punch to the Cougs yesterday.
So we were joined by Butch there momentarily. Nice appearance from him as we were up 4-0. He's got to be happy.
Take it.
As again, like Will said here, had some technical difficulties, had to restart the stream. But the Lobos will start off this inning really nicely. Top of the fourth, they started with a single up the middle. And now, oh, that's a good strike call and able to get one again on Trujillo and an 0-2 for him. Obviously, we mentioned he strikes out a lot, 59 as he struck out earlier. And if they get him here, he'll be at 60 on the year. You know that Luke Myers wants nothing more than that. Here's the 0-2, and that one looks like it missed the plate on the outside. And it will be 1-2 now. And again, a threat on the bases here if you are Lenny Ashby. He's trying to get a good lead over there at first. Myers looks him off, goes 1-2 pitch. Here's the approach, and again, missing on an off speed on the outside.
Trio has done a nice job of laying off those pitches that he was swinging at in his first at bat, where he struck out three pitches on all of them, low and away like that. Seemingly learned something here in his second at bat.
Even at twos, here's the delivery. That one just softly grounded over the top of the catcher and will be foul and behind home plate. And again, we will do another 2-2 count. Gene Trujillo trying to just keep his chances alive. And again, a good start for the Lobos. You get a single with no outs. They've done that a couple times today, but unsuccessful every single time. 4 hits on the day and no runs to show for it. 2-2 again. This one is in there. Goodbye. Backwards K. Trujillo strikes out his 60th strikeout of the season as he does the walk of shame back to the dugout and 1 out for the Cougars.
Great pitch from Luke Myers right there. Way to get the first out after giving up a nice hard hit line drive single. Bounce back and potentially get an ending double play right here.
Now, again, you got one away. This one skied out to right field, deep down the line. It looks like it will leave the field, but foul, as that one had a chance to leave the yard if it were fair. If not, it would have hit the wall for sure, as that one was trailing toward the right field pole. But again, just foul, and we will have an 0-1 as quickly Luke Mancy trying to just kind of set something here quickly, trying to get an agenda. Aggressive hitting from this team has found themselves 4 hits, but no runs. And the 0-1 count to Mansby. Here's a back pick over to Ashby. Again, like we mentioned earlier, able to get the game-winning RBI last night late in the game over the head of Obenauer for a 4-3 win over the Cougars, and a big one for them to keep the top of the mountain for now.
Mansby, another one of these seniors.
This one is lifted out to right center field. That's going to get down, and an angle taken on to cut it off. And now chasing for 2. The throw is not in time. He's safe. A bit of a collision at second base. Not even sure if he was able to pick that cleanly. Nathan Choate doesn't show any signs of challenging this, despite Noah Thine maybe looking at the dugout. And that is a beautiful hit. And now 2 runners in scoring position. And the Cougars' 4-0 lead could be cut in half here with a single coming up from Akili Karras.
Karras in his first at bat, grounded out to third. That is something the Cougs would be extremely happy with right now.
Trevor Smith thought his cutoff there was at least going to have runners on the corners, but a good ability to stretch that into a double from Manzi.
As the New Mexico dugout has come to life with their first chance really with runners in scoring position to really have a big game.
They've not had a threat all game. This is a chopper to the right side. Pitcher makes an error, and the bare hand play can't be made. A run will score, and a single on an error from the infield. And now runners on the corners. In the first run of the game, Lenny Ashby comes across the plate to make it 4-1.
As what we said before the game, New Mexico should just put the ball in play and make this Cougar defense make the plays. And right there, you saw it. Textbook example of them not making the plays and a run comes home.
Luke Myers makes the error, thought he could jump and make it, but he snow cones it off his glove and behind as Nathan Choate comes to the mound. He'll talk to his infield, and we will go to a short break. We'll be right back. Lobos trying to make this a 4-2 game with runners in scoring position. Correction, as Will mentioned to me, they scored that as a hit. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the most objective way to score that. Off the glove of Luke Myers, and with runners now on the corners, they will throw to Brody Williams, the catcher. He comes back to the plate and lifts this one deep out to right field. Ranging back to grab that will be Hartman, but nonetheless, that will score a run for the Lobos almost certainly. As the Hartman will get that into second base for Northrop covering, and now the lead is cut in half from what it was. 4-0 is now 4-2. Lobos chipping away here against Wazoo.
The Cougs will gladly trade that out for a run. It's just trying to limit the damage here in the top of the fourth. A good use of that mound visit by head coach Nathan Choate. Go out there, calm down your pitcher, and just tell him to keep grinding and let the defense do the work.
Manzi and Ashby score for the Lobos, and now Kara stands at first base. It'll be Lachlan Maud, the designated hitter today for the Lobos, ahead in the count 1-0 right now, and he will try and rally this team again with 2 outs. Back pick to first base, unsuccessful, and a bit of an aggressive safe call there, and a laugh from first base umpire Alex Nash. Not sure if he's been having words over there with someone, but aggressive call by him. As the 1-0 is in there for strike one and a missed swing from Lachlan Maud, and the breeze is making this a little bit colder and possibly even for Myers, as again he's given up 2 runs this inning. The 1-1 count, 2 away for the Cougars. Aggressive lead and a back pick over, and again, a softer safe call from Nash over at first base. No laugh follows. And again, a 1-1 looking now for Lachlan, who steps back into the batter's box.
Maud, the Canadian, towering at 6'4", 240, a junior, DHing today.
One of the few non-seniors in the lineup for the Lobos. Is that one, I guess, a little too in, and it will be ball 2 according to home plate umpire Alan Brandt. We've seen an expansive zone from him. We've also seen some tight calls made as balls.
Only Maud's 15th at bat of the year. As you can see it there, as he's late on that pitch to even the count at 2-2.
Right, maybe a little bit of inexperience there. Absolutely blew it by him. And now a 2-2 count, even across the board at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Deuce is wild.
Myers delivers. This one hit up the middle. Can the play be made by Northrop? Not quite. And now running for third and stopping is Karras at second base. Maybe further instructed not to come from his third base coach. And now 2-out single for the Lobos, and the go-ahead run comes to the plate here in the top of the fourth in a really good response inning from back-to-back 2-run innings from the Cougars.
Now out hitting the Cougars are the Lobos. They just have not had the timely hitting yet that the Cougars have had until now, as a few Cougar pitchers are jogging down towards the bullpen, seemingly ready to get loose.
Absolutely. Khalil Walker comes to the plate.
Walker's 1 for 1 with a single. He did get caught stealing second base in that top of the third inning last inning to end it.
And Scott Ringhetti, like you mentioned, is one of those pitchers jogging down to the bullpen now to warm up. We'll see if he's the one that they choose to come in. There was another one with him. I couldn't quite catch the eye. There's a 1-1 count here against the Lobos. And again, they have had a very successful top of the fourth. Khalil Walker is trying to keep that going. Lachlan Maud at first. Keely Karras at second. This one hit down the line. Good play made. Ryan Shonsby going to jog his way, tap the base, and get the Cougars out of the jam. But they don't come out unscathed. They give up 2, and their lead of 4 has now been cut in half, and 7 hits as they're able to get 3 on the inning. The Lobos cut the lead in half as we will go away for the bottom of the fourth. I'm Zach McFarlane, joined by Will Arthur. You're watching KUGR. We'll be right back. Looks like the Lobos will still be confident in Alvarez. He will, again, retake the bump here in the bottom of the fourth. And a good inning, though, to kind of boost his confidence a bit from the Lobos. They get 3 hits and they get 2 runs across the plate. They have now cut was once a 4-run lead and half to 2. 4-2, the Cougars lead here in the Palouse is starting to get a little bit colder, a little bit chillier. The breeze is starting to hit a little bit stronger, and the flags are starting to wave a little bit more as the Cougars get set to take the box.
It'll be Shawnsby, Obenauer, and Fine this inning. Shawnsby with a strikeout. Was in the box last inning, but Robinson getting thrown out at second gives him new life. It's for the Cougar pitching. Ryland Hyder and Scott Ringett jog down to the bullpen, and will probably be one of them will be the next guy in after whenever Choate feels Myers is done today.
And I can't quite see what the Lobos have to counteract that, but they have some arms warming up themselves in the bullpen as the first pitch is a strike to Shawnsby. And so quickly an 0-1 count, and ahead is Alvarez. Now he delivers again on the 0-1. That one is away in the low and will be marked as ball 1. Lobos really just trying to get out of this inning quickly. A 1-2-3 for them would be extremely ideal, trying to keep that momentum going that they caught last inning, or at least last half inning, I beg your pardon, as the third pitch of the at-bat is inside for ball 2.
The Cougars need to answer here to cut that New Mexico momentum at the bud.
Again, Ryan Shawnsby standing pretty tall, 6'3", 213 senior from Long Beach Poly High School. Featured in the movie When the Game Stands Tall.
Good movie.
That is a great movie. They were on the wrong end of it, though, in that film. And 2-2 now for Shawnsby. This is grounded right side. The play will be made by Manzi over to first. And Trujillo able to finish off the play to Shawnsby and 1 away from him on a 4-3 play.
Manzi's been busy so far. That's the 3rd grounder he has fielded today already.
Especially when Trevor Smith comes to the plate. He has been, I mean, not necessarily working hard, but he's had some action.
Obenauer, 1-for-1 with a double. Steps back up for his second plate appearance.
This one ripped out to left center field, and left field now more, and a single over the top of the head of Waslewski. And a nice shot from him, and with a 1-out single for the Cougars. And that brings up the catcher, Noah Thine.
If you get this Obenauer healthy and hitting line drives again, that is going to be a massive boost to this Cougar lineup, really lengthening that because he's your 7-hole hitter.
And again, like we mentioned earlier, catchers aren't really known for being able to hit the ball consistently, and a 116 average for Thine coming into this game. Of course, you have to actually look at his at-bats, and only 43 on the year, so not too many attempts for him at the plate. An on-base percentage of just under 300 for him.
Put down a bunt his last at-bat.
A near perfect one at that as he lifts it out to left field, and that's going to get down for yet another single. Almost mirroring what the man did before him in Obenauer, but this time the lefty goes oppo and does exactly the same thing, and another 1-out single. Runner in scoring position for the Cougs, followed by Noah Thine at first.
Speaking of Lobos that have been busy out in the field, Ashby has been busy. We've seen balls in left center field. We've seen balls to the corner, and now this inning, back-to-back singles to him as New Mexico head coach is going to come out, and this might be it for Alvarez. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, first, obviously, mound visit, so obviously they can leave him in, and I think the coach is going to kind of get a feel here maybe. None of the arms in the bullpen look necessarily ready, so it's hard to tell if they're going to take him out now, but I could absolutely see them doing so. He has struggled here in the latter half of his appearance. He has given up 8 hits now and only 1 out in the 4th inning. Alvarez will remain in the game and on the bump, but I'm sure it's a short leash here.
Short leash. Surprisingly, with all this traffic we've had, 15 hits already, 0 errors scored, and 0 walks or hit by pitches so far. It's just been straight bat to ball, no homers as well, just a bunch of small ball today here at Bailey Brayton.
Yeah, and again, only 6 runs to show for the 15 hits. There's been quite a few of them. as this one is grounded to the left side. And I like what you mentioned, that word that you use, no errors scored. As again, arguably an error against the Cougars in the last inning with Luke Myers not able to field the ground ball, resulting in a run and everyone being safe on that play. They scored it a hit. There's now an 0-1 count here for Northrop. He sends that one out to center, and a line drive will be chased down and caught. And arguably not good base running from Obenauer. He doesn't tag up, and we'll have to come back. And so now 2 outs, and really, instead of not doing a job, it does nothing for the Cougars. And it brings up the man who has grounded out twice to second base there to Manzi, is Trevor Smith.
Yeah, I thought he should have tagged there. Get himself 90 feet away, potentially have scored on a wild pitch. Now it's going to take a base knock. But the leadoff man is back up here. 0 for 2, 2 groundouts to second.
Let's see. He will try and maybe lay down a bunt, pull it back, and it will be in there for strike one. You can't imagine he does lay down a bunt here with 2 outs.
We've done it before. The Cougs love to bunt. With a speedy guy like Smith, you could make an argument.
I suppose as well because he has struggled at least getting it through the infield today. And he will foul that one back off the mesh for now an 0-2 count. And now a scenario where you can't let anything close go, but also have to keep an eye out for pitch selection. The 0-2 here from Alvarez trying to get out of the jam. Alvarez off speed. Is it in there? No. Alan Brand.
Arguably the biggest at-bat of Trevor Smith's college career so far, the true freshman, in a monumental game here if you're just joining us for the Mountain West Conference.
Again, a big moment to try and get the runners to at least advance. A walk here would just be, just as good at this point. Then you get Gavin Roy to the plate with bases loaded and 2 outs. And again, you just have to find the holes of the infield. He has put the ball in play twice, but softly and unsuccessful in both attempts. 2s across the board. Read the scoreboard. Here's one. Lined into right, and that's a base hit. That might get to the wall, and it will. Runs will score. Here comes Obenauer. They're going to wave another run home. Fine running to the plate, but he is gunned by a mile out at the plate. He got the wave from third base coach, but unsuccessful. But the Cougars do get out of the inning with a run. So they do extend their lead 5-2 and a 9th hit for them. Heading to the 5th. Noah Thine slow to get up a little bit there. Coaches will check on him. And nonetheless, the Cougars will extend their lead by 1, 5-2, heading to the top of the 5th. You're watching KUGR. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Cougars with a 5-2 lead.
As we are back, Noah Thine's day is going to be done after that slide into home. He looks like he had some sort of bloody nose, maybe bloody lip. They were putting a towel to his face, but Tam McLeod is going to sub in for Thine, take over the catching here for the Cougs. McLeod, a junior catcher from Vancouver, British Columbia, and a Cloud County Community College transfer. had a big game last time we were on the mic, as he will take over calling the game for Luke Myers against the top of the Lobos lineup.
Very, very true. He had quite a few gun plays at second on steals.
As the first pitch here is poked out to left center field in a something out there in left field. He looked like Michael Jordan going for a dunk. That was an interesting attempt to catch the ball from Matt Priest, Zach. I don't really know how to describe it.
It was, I guess he went up to grab the ball and almost swatted it like a defensive back in football. Instead of being able to hang on to it, kind of swats it down to his center fielder there in Smith. And so arguably an error there. We'll see what they mark it as. A tough play to make it. We haven't quite gotten a score for it yet, but nonetheless, a runner on second and a double.
First pitch, leadoff double for now, unless they change that to an error.
And they do.
They do call it an error. That's an E7 on Matt Priest, as the Cougar defense has gotten shaky here in the middle innings of this Sunday ball game. There's a 1-0 count to Carson Wasiletsky. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a ground out. Now in the driver's seat, though, with a 2-0 count. As you got to think Luke Myers' day maybe coming to an end as more Cougars continue to toss down in that Cougar bullpen.
Yeah, it's definitely closing in, especially now with the kind of defensive team getting a little bit shaky here.
This does not get the call on a good-looking pitch from home plate umpire Cole Allenbrand. Zach, I thought that one caught the zone.
Last couple have been kind of right around that same spot, and I thought so as well, but maybe low, maybe inside. He's just not liking it, though, nonetheless, and now you're 3-0 here.
3-0 to the 292 hitting shortstop for the Lobos, as he will take a strike there to make it 3-1. No outs, runner on second here for the Lobos, as they seemingly have woken up after their slow start in those first 3 innings. The Cougs might be helping them a little bit, but it's going to be, as he grounds this one over to short, Connor Northrup will field and toss it over. No advancement from the guy on second. That is a textbook situation for the Cougs. Getting an out and keeping that guy on second, Zach. No sac fly in play here.
Yeah, and I think that, at least before the end of the at-bat there when they got the out, I was going to say probably, a chance for Choate to come out and probably take him out if he had walked that batter. Now you get the out, and now I think things change just a little bit. Not sure if he's on such a short a leash now.
As this brings up Lenny Ashby, the dangerous 3-hole hitter for the Lobos. He's 1 for 2 with a single, but his out was a hard hit line out to right field. I would consider putting him on here with first base open and a guy who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts on deck.
Yeah, 60 again, like we mentioned, 60 on the year. He strikes out often, but again, also he does know how to hit the baseball. But of course, that might be the smart play, at least trying to get him to double up here.
It seems as though Myers may be pitching around the graduate student from Arizona a little bit with a 2-0 count here. The third pitch, that one catches the zone as Ashby does not pull the trigger. 2-1 count, 1 out here. Top 5 from Pullman, Washington, and we have a 5-2 WSU lead. But the Lobos are threatening that as the 2-1 pitch from Myers is swung on and fouled. Back off the catcher, McLeod. Get in the game and instantly catch a foul ball right there. That's why you wear the gear, Zach.
No kidding. As a former catcher myself, sometimes the ball does not always find the gear, but it comes with the job description. Got to be able to body it up and always go for it if possible. You are the leader of the field. You see it all out there.
The pitch of the game coming for Luke Myers. 2-2, 1 out to the 3-hitter, and it's a soft liner into center. This is probably going to score a run, as the throw will get cut off by Shawnsby. Oh, they do throw it home, but it is nowhere near in time, as that error comes around to score, making this game 5-3, as Lenny Ashby does it again with an RBI single.
Obviously, we had the Gardner-Webb game just a couple of weeks ago, but one thing we mentioned was Gardner-Webb didn't give up. They kept staying in the game, and New Mexico is absolutely doing just that. They are chipping away at these Cougars. These are 2 very evenly matched teams, especially talking about the standings. New Mexico really trying to just chip away, getting back to that tie.
This brings up Trujillo high and inside. Almost caught him in the helmet. Good thing it didn't. That would have been a scary scene, as Nathan Choate, after 1 pitch, is going to come out here. Maybe he's seen something. Maybe he thinks Myers overthrew that a little bit. Out of gas and lost his control trying to go too hard as he has not motioned to get a new pitcher in yet. This will be his second mound visit.
This will be, and he's, kind of slowly talking to the infield, maybe not quite ready to take him out, but kind of letting him know, hey, maybe I would probably guess a walk or a hit here is going to result in Myers getting pulled.
Home plate umpire Cole Allenbrand going to come out and tell him, hey, let's wrap this up. And Choate, does not make a move. Second mound visit for Choate with Myers. No pitching change yet for the Cougs as he's letting the senior really work through this game. You got to think he's earned that throughout how good he's been pitching recently.
Absolutely. 4+ years is going to earn you some trust on the mound. And again, I just do think there is a short leash here for him.
Back up the middle, deflects off the pitcher. Northrop makes a heck of a play, throwing a sidearm strike off a deflection over to Shawnsby to retire Gene Trujillo. I thought that might be a no man's land type of unfortunate situation for the Cougs, but Northrop adjusts. And then he initially went to second, Zach, to cover. He thought Myers was going to field that, turn the double play, but heck of an adjustment from Northrop to get out Gene Trujillo, making this 2 outs, runner on second for Luke Manzi. The first pitch to Manzi is taken outside, ball 1.
Yeah, and luckily that's your first baseman, so not a lot of speed usually coming from your first baseman. That's probably one of the only players in their lineup where they have the time to be able to make that play still.
1-0 count, 2 outs, top 5. Here it comes. It's outside again. As out there at second, Lenny Ashby. You wouldn't think it based off the stature, but 12 for 13 on the bases, and he's kind of jumping around out there.
Absolutely quick and agile. And honestly, right there in that last play, I think if that got through for an error, it would have been definitely Myers' day.
Myers does catch the zone there, a much-needed strike. 2-1, gets him back in the count a little bit here. Manzi's still in the driver's seat, but Myers is in that rear view mirror trying to get out of this 5th inning, only allowing 1. The 2-1 pitch is taken for a strike. Is a little bit of a check swing, but it doesn't matter. It was a strike the whole way, says home plate umpire Cole Allenbrand. Runner on second.
You know who doesn't say that is
2
Manzi.
outs.
He did not agree with that call one bit.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second for the Lobos second baseman. The pitch is swung on, grounded over to second. Gavin Roy ranges back into the outfield turf. Makes a nice play over to Shawnsby to retire the side, and Luke Myers technically does not get charged that run as that was an error out there in left. But the Lobos do get 1 to bring that deficit back to 2 runs as we're going to go to the bottom of the 5th. The Cougs nursing a 5-3 lead. We will be right back with you shortly. I'm Will Arthur. This is Zach McFarlane. You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR. As we are back here, bottom 5th action at Bailey Brayton Field. Diego Alvarez is going to take the mound again here as the last inning was ended at that out at home on the Trevor Smith double, which means the Cougs are going to have 2, 3, 4 coming up in the order. Gavin Roy, Max Hartman, and Matt Priest. Gavin Roy looking for his first hit today, Zach, but the guy's hitting 360. Basically a second leadoff hitter, and he'll be leading off this inning for the Cougs. What do you want to see him do here?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you want something to at least start the Cougars off. It's been a little bit back and forth here in the past couple of innings. The Cougars are going to have to keep this pace. They had a 2-run advantage, essentially, of what they were already doing. So at this point, if you keep scoring the way it is, you're going to find yourself the winner. So just keep the pace that you're at right now, I think, with a nice single.
The first pitch is taken for a strike from Roy. He is grounded out to the first baseman and flown out to right field. Pushing things the other way so far. This is the Cougs look to add on to that lead. Roy hits a nice dribbler over to short. It kind of hops into the shortstop, but he adjusts, makes a good play as well. Slevsky out there. Good adjustment right there, Zach, to eat that hop and throw out the decently fast Roy to make the first out of the inning for the Lobos.
And again, like you said, Roy is a huge batter to have on the Cougars lineup. Usually makes it happen. Right there, just can't do it. And again, just a good confidence builder for the Lobos early on. They're obviously just trying to chip away at these Cougars, and they're within 2 runs now.
Cougs have scored in 3 straight innings. As that's a bouncer back up the middle. The thing, the shift is there for the Lobos, and they're going to make the play. Retiring Hartman that's just shifting right where they hit it right there. They've read the scouting report there as back-to-back 6-3 groundouts for the Cougs. Pose this as being a very quick inning for the Lobos, which is the last thing the Cougs want, Zach.
Yeah, no kidding. And I mean, obviously, normally lefties, you do kind of have some sort of a shift. They obviously like to usually pull the ball, and that one straight up the gut. But unfortunately, Wasilewski there for his second play and second ground out of the inning.
The Cougs have scored in 3 straight innings with 3 hits in each of the last 3 innings. As Alvarez has only thrown 3 pitches this inning, which will bring up number 3, Matt Priest.
And arguably the best hitter of the day. I think maybe unarguably he has been fantastic.
2 for 2 as he takes a ball. First pitch was called a strike, so we are even at 1-1. 2 outs here. Priest looking to get a little 2-out rally started here for Washington State. He's 2 for 2 with a single and a double. So he takes that one, which misses a little low. The Lobos definitely wanted that one to be called a strike, but Priest now 2-1 count, gonna get a pitch to hit. Triple and a homer for the cycle. Do we say he's on cycle watch?
Might just have to. And obviously, I think here for the Lobos, if Alvarez can do a 1-2-3 inning, I think that is a huge momentum swing for the Lobos, as this is probably his last outing. But to be able to respond like he has and do this in the bottom of the 5th, such an important inning would be huge.
Priest swings and misses. The 2-2 pitch comes in and it's grounded over to third. A short bouncer. Speedy Priest is going. It's a close play, but a great throw from Karras over to Trujillo to retire the side. The Cougs go 1-2-3 on 3 groundouts, Zach. That is not what you want to see if you're Nathan Choate and that coaching staff. As the Lobos have been chipping away, and now they get that stop, that stand they needed, and turn it over back to their bats with still just a 2-run lead for Washington State and some damage potential coming as the Cougs will keep Luke Myers out there for the 6th inning. A little bit surprising, Zach. I think we both thought he was going to be done today, but Choate is going to stick with him.
I thought for sure Myers was going to absolutely leave the game after that last inning, but nonetheless, we're going to go to the top of the 6th, and he's still on the mound, and we'll be right back shortly as he finishes his warm-up in between innings. You're watching KUGR. Don't go away. We're going to the 6th. We are back here in Bailey Brayton Field, top of the 6th, and a good respond inning from the Lobos. They were able to make it happen in a 1-2-3 from Alvarez, who struggled kind of recently. And we will start with Akili Karras here, who fouls the first pitch off over the right field side for an 0-1 count. And again, like we mentioned just before we went off air for a minute, Luke Myers still on the mound, and you just have to kind of wonder how short is the leash that he's on. As here is another 0-1, and that's taken for a ball as he pulled the bunt attempt back.
I think Choate's going to let him go until he gets in any trouble.
Again, like you mentioned, he's built his trust over his long years here as the 1-1 then sent out to left center field, and that's going to be down for a base hit. Now all eyes on Choate. We will see if he has any sure doubt yet, but it looks like Myers will stay on the bump for now.
It's back-to-back at-bats for Akili Karras with a single off Luke Myers, which brings up Brody Williams, who has a single and a sac fly to right field on his game stats. So far, this could get ugly and be a really mistake in the game for Choate if this gets away from Luke Myers.
And the double zeros, we pop back up in behind us. No play for Will Arthur on that one. But now you have an 0-1 count to, again, Brody Williams, the catcher. And you're going to try and get at least a double play here. Obviously would be ideal. You have your middle infielders in the depth ready for it. Here's the kick and fire on the 0-1 and blows it right by him for strike 2. And that is a huge confidence builder now for the Cougars pitcher. And you need to get this out. It would be huge.
Myers looking for his 5th strikeout. Had 2 in the first. They've kind of been not common since then. Would be a big time for the 5th one.
Obviously, we've been wrong many times on our predictions and when they're going to pull Luke Myers, but I can't imagine if Brody Williams is able to get on base here that he would still be the man on the bump. Now 1-2 count awaits for Williams. He deals that one on the outside and not quite in there. Not enough for Alan Brand. The rest of the umpires here wearing crimson in the crowd disagreed with the only ones, the call that matters is Alan Brand in all black and behind the plate. And now 2-2 will be the count. Myers looks the runner off at first, and that one would have been right at us if the mesh weren't there. I think you might have protected my face with that left hand of yours.
It was up. I was ready for that one. I think if that last call was in the MLB, we would have seen a little head tap from Cam McLeod behind the plate. Fortunately, do not have that luxury here at the collegiate level.
And no ABS, and review is on a phone at the moment, so not quite ready for that at this level. As a back pick here, again, unsuccessful. It is really difficult to have a successful back pick. I think it's one of those plays where you have to really surely get him out, or else it's almost always going to be called safe.
2-2, no outs.
And here is the 2-2. This one lined out to center field. Should be a routine play for Smith, who runs back on it and tagging up. No. And he actually could have tagged up. An errored throw in to Gavin Roy. Went by him right back to the pitcher. And Myers, as trying to tag up there, was Karras, but about halfway through the line, went back to first base. And so it'll bring up Lachlan Mott as Brody Williams lines out to center field. Trevor Smith able to range back and grab that one. And Luke Myers now gets the first out of the 6th.
Mott with a single in his last at-bat.
And that is a first pitch beauty. Got him swinging and strike 1 there. And again, a nice start to the count once more for Luke Myers.
The 0-1 is fired in, and it's another swing and a miss. And Luke Myers wheeling and dealing right here. 0-2 to the Lobo 8th hitter, the DH. He already struck him out once. Looking for another here, Zach.
Absolutely. The man from Denver, Colorado. Has an 0-2 stranglehold on Mott. This one grounded to second. Takes a weird hop. Pitch to second. And on the transfer, he loses it. So they will get the out. But now a little bit of frustration shown by Northrup there with himself, as he's unable to make the double play, which was almost certain, it looked like. But that was sort of an odd hop to have on turf there on the ground ball to second.
Funny enough, the hop was not what messed him up. It was the transfer. Maybe he rushed a little throw from Roy, but Mott is a slow runner, and that was going to be an easy double play and out of the inning as the Cougar defense lets down Luke Myers again.
And here's a back pick over to Mott, who will, again, be safe, and now brings up Khalil Walker one more time. And again, you almost wonder if they do end up getting runs here. That is, you're going to look back to that moment as the out they could have got to escape. And now they'll just have to do it again. One more back pick to first, safe again.
Maybe a little anger from Myers there, throwing over his Mott is 0 for 0 on the year. Not the fastest guy. There's a reason he's playing DH.
Not exactly a threat on the bases, but he hasn't been gunned yet. You could argue that as well. Here's kind of a half swing that is fouled off. And so Walker finds himself down 0-1 in the count to start with 2 away.
Thank the Lord for this net, Zach. There's been a few that would have hit us today.
No doubt. And I think you got a strong enough reflex to stop anything that comes back, at least the ones that we've seen, as the 0-1 delivered down and in for 1-1.
This is a monumental moment in a monumental game. The 9-hitter, Khalil Walker. You do not want to turn this over to the top of the Lobo lineup while you're trying to hang on to a lead, which has been an issue for the Cougs this series.
And not a big one. This one thrown again low and will miss for ball 2. And again, the 2-run lead. They had a 4-run lead at one point in this game after the third inning. Then the Lobos really started picking up their bats, finding holes within this defensive scheme of the Cougars, and not only holes, but able to register a couple of errors, at least one scored. As Myers delivers this one driven out to left field. Running in on it there is Priest. He comes up, makes the play near the line, and that will get the Cougars out of the inning, and almost certainly Myers' day is finished, but able to close it out on a positive. No runs given up. And just one hit surrendered in that inning. 9s for the hits across the board, and a 5-3 lead for the Cougars heading to bottom of 6. As we get ready, set here, a new mound for the Lobos. They will send it over to grad student Matthew Romero. It'll be a left-handed look here for the Washington State lineup from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And, of course, like we were just talking about a second ago off the air, a transfer from New Mexico State, which is, quite interesting considering I'm sure they have an in-state rivalry.
Only 6 appearances on the season for Romero, 5.4 ERA, given up 4 earned runs, no homers, and has 3 strikeouts to 3 walks. With Robinson, Schansby, and Obenauer coming up this inning, you've got to think bringing in the lefty for those first 2 Cougar lefties that have done some damage today already.
Yeah, arguably kind of a salivating start of the lineup to the inning. You have big hitters across the board to try and get Romero off his game early. Going into the bottom of the 6th, hanging on to a 2-run lead are the Cougars. But of course, still plenty of time. 9 outs left for the Lobos and 12 for the Cougars. The last 3 only if necessary, of course.
Diego Alvarez's day is done. He went 5 innings, 9 hits, and 4 runs.
And that would bring him up to 40 in total for the year for him. And not sure what his ERA is going to look like after this game, but again, 7.57 coming into it. And so now 1 ball will start us off here. Romero, not quite how he wanted to start it, but he will respond with an outside corner strike. And so 1s across the board. We're even here.
Robinson, the redshirt sophomore from California, had some big, powerful moments for the Cougs this season.
Had one earlier in the game, a double. Helped score a run, a nice RBI from him. And he will leave that out in low on a 2-1 count for Dustin Robinson.
As you can imagine, a lot of off-speed, low and away here to the left for the lefty-lefty. Appears as though it'll be coming from behind the hitter, though Romero is lined up on the third base side of that rubber.
Dustin Robinson fouls this off right toward that Lobo dugout. Good thing for the fences here that guard the dugouts is Robinson playing his 41st game of the year, essentially almost playing every bit of the season, just shy of a few games. And he will have a 2-2 count here from Romero. He's got his pitch. Kicks and fires it low and out. And now that brings the count full. And we have, if I'm not incorrect here, that is the first full count of the game.
I think you are right, Zach. No walks yet. Would be a good time for the first.
That'd be really good for the Cougars if Romero could start off his appearance with a walk. This one will miss on outside, and the first walk of the game will go to Dustin Robinson as he trots to first, and that was definitely the first full count. We haven't even seen hardly 3 balls, only more than a couple of times, but that'll be the first walk. And again, Cougars will start off the inning the way they want to with a runner on first, bringing up none other than the man Ryan Shonsby.
Both teams have been swinging early and often today, leading to a lack of those 3-ball counts. But Robinson with a leadoff walk, that is exactly what you want if you're the Cougs and not what you want if you're Romero and the Lobos.
Last one I can recall was Luke Myers starting off his count 3-0 a couple innings ago. And this account will start now with a 1 strike from Romero on maybe one down the middle, it looked like. Here's a kick and fire. That one going to be outside, and we'll even up the count 1-1. And Dustin Robinson, of course, at first base. And you don't have to worry about him necessarily. Again, only 66% rate, but only has tried 6 times all year.
He did get caught stealing earlier in this game.
This one lined over to the right side, and that's to the first baseman. Robinson going around second to third, and the throw to second is not in time. It's off the mark. A good hit. Shonsby with a no-out double.
That one was about 1 foot at the most away from trouble in a double play for the Cougs with the diving Trujillo, but it got under the glove and into right field for a nice double. And this is exactly what the Cougs needed. They needed to add on to this 2-run lead if they wanted to win this one. And you have now second and third, no outs. Can the bottom of the order put the ball in play and extend this Cougar lead?
Well, look out here. Romero's day might be done. 2 batters in. They have a meeting at the mound, and it looks like you have someone coming in from the bullpen, and Romero is done. 2 batters for Romero, and that is already his day. Again, a short leash, and again, obviously totally understandable given the circumstances and the situation of the game. Full context, of course. But now New Mexico will look to respond here with a good start to the inning for the Cougars. And we will see a new mound for New Mexico. And that
it'll be a right-hander, number 34.
That looks to be Josh Barnhouse, a grad student right-handed pitcher from Prosper, Texas.
Grad student to grad student here for the New Mexico manager. Romero, came in for those lefties, did not do his job, walked one and then gave up a double. So Barnhouse will have some work to do here, sitting at a surprising 6'6", 240. A mammoth on the mound out there.
And he's hoping to prosper on the mound in this one. Bottom of the 6th, runners in scoring position for the Cougars. They have a 5-3 lead. No outs here, and we'll be right back after Barnhouse finishes his warm-up. Do not go away. You're watching KUGR. And back in Bailey Brayton here. 5-3 lead for the Cougars. They lead hits 10-9. Runners in scoring position. Shonsby at second, Robinson at third. And the first pitch of the day for Barnhouse will miss for a ball. And you now have the corners playing in. They're going to try and make any play at the plate here.
Need Obenauer to put the ball in play here. You'll take an out. Just get that guy on third across the plate.
Obenauer now takes one. Maybe he thought it was up, but that one is in there for a strike, and one's now across the board for the count.
I thought that one was a little outside, but umpire Cody Allenbrand did not think so.
Here's the 1-1 to Obenauer. He grounds balls this one down the line of left field. That'll score Robinson. In comes Shawnsby. Obenauer will trot his way to second. Down the line double. It's 7-3 for Washington State in the 6th.
Well, the bullpen management for the Mexico Lobos has not been what they were hoping for. Is 2 guys reach, and then you bring in another guy, and Obenauer almost identical to his previous double in that second inning that scored a run. Just not even a hard hit grounder, just right down third base line, gets past that third baseman Karras down the right or left field line, and 2 guys come in, and the Cougs now are on the verge of a massive inning here.
Yeah, and you almost wonder if there's really a right answer to bring in to the mound here. Here's a bunt laid down, almost perfect. That one just skeets foul a little bit. But again, you got to just wonder, was there really a right call, or were the Cougars just destined to kind of have a hot start to this inning? They have seemingly not cared what pitcher they have seen. They have raked, and now they have a 4-run lead right back again.
Yeah, Barnhouse coming in 6-6 on the mound. His ERA also starts with a 6. So he hasn't been especially great this year for the Lobos.
Here's the 0-1, another bunt attempt. Did he pull it back? They will say that he did. And so the outside pitch will be marked as a ball, and it will be 1-1 here as the Cougars just trying to extend their lead.
Cam McLeod's first at-bat since taking over for Noah Thine in that 4th inning.
And here's another bunt attempt from McLeod. This one popped up, but into no man's land behind the plate. And so now you have a 2-strike count. I imagine the bunt scheme can be thrown out here, but not entirely. The Cougars do like to bunt, and they have bunted before with 2 strikes, I'm sure. But you have to be certain if you can get it down, obviously, because if you do foul it off, it will result in an out, and you don't want that. With a runner on second here, Obenauer waits. Here's another bunt attempt with 2 strikes. He fouls it off, and he's out. So, again, like we mentioned, maybe throw that scheme out the window, as I don't really see the benefit of bunting there with 2 strikes, but you've been hitting hot already to start. Although Cam McLeod's coming into this game a little bit late, I think you give him an opportunity, but nonetheless, Kyle Northrup will come back to the lineup. Kyler Northrup, and he will receive the first pitch of the at-bat, 1 away, with Obenauer again on second base in scoring position.
Foul bunt, definitely not what you want there if you're the Cougs. They're really sticking to the strategy. They got the strategy, and they're going to stick to it. Would have liked to see Cam McLeod swing the bat there with 2 strikes.
I don't think that would have been a bad thing to do, considering that they've been hitting well as a team to start this inning, as this one is fouled off well into right. And so that brings up ones across the board. 1 away, 1 out, 1 strike. 7-3 lead here for the Cougars in the bottom of the 6th. They have scored 2 already this inning. They lead the hits category 11-9. Here's the 1-1. That one grounded up the middle. They will throw it to first, and we'll get him over at first. Northrup is thrown out, but Obenauer advances as Wasilewski chooses not to look him off at all. So good base running there, and they will get 90 feet away from their 8th run of the game. And it brings up the top of the lineup again, Trevor Smith.
Obenauer could have got himself into some trouble there as he committed early to that one, but you said it best. Wasilewski does not even consider throwing to third, tosses it over, getting that sure out.
Yeah, interesting. But now you have a man, 3 groundouts in this game. Almost make it 4, hits the base, and they will call it foul. They're going to say it hit the green bag on the outside.
I think it did.
And Nathan Choate doesn't. He disagrees with both of you. And so he will come out and at least have a discussion. And he wants to make sure that this hit the green bag, possibly a challenge. I believe he's got 1 left. He already has 1 unsuccessful one in the game. But nonetheless, a hard shot by Trevor Smith on the ground again. But to no avail, at least for now. I think this is probably more a little bit of an explanation than it is a challenge.
Trevor Smith, 1 for 3 on the day, 2 groundouts to second, and then a double. He had that double in the bottom of the 4th that had Thine thrown out at home and knocked him out of the game. And swinging away there on that first pitch, he hit that hard. That was one of the harder hit balls of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, that one was crushed down the line. The Cougars have loved to hit it down the baselines today. The third baseline has gotten a lot more love than the first. Smith now behind in an 0-1 count. This one on the outside and maybe a little bit up for ball one. So obviously going from almost what would have been an extra base hit or even a single to score a run ends up being a foul. And so now a 1-1 count with 2 away. This one fouled off again, just getting a piece of that. Also ends up off of Williams, the catcher, in behind the dish. And a 1-2 now with 2 gone.
Head coach Nathan Choate maybe should become a comm major, get some persuasion classes in there, as he was unable to sweet talk the call into changing that to a fair ball.
Yeah, unsuccessful on the first one as well. So maybe you're right. This one is blocked well by Williams and behind the plate. Obenauer stays put at third base. And now 2s. You have in the count here for Trevor Smith, who's just trying to extend the Cougar lead to 5, as they had a 4-0 lead earlier. That got shortened to 4-2 and then 5-3. Now back to 7-3. Here's a 2-2 count, swung on and missed by Smith. That will end the 6th inning. But of course, the Cougars putting up 2, and they take their lead back to 4. 7-3. Washington State leads heading to the 7th. 11-9 in hits for the Cougars. They lead it. You're watching KUGR, Cougar College Radio, and Wazoo Baseball. Don't go away. Headed to the 7th.
Welcome back to Bailey Brayton, as the Cougars are going to turn over to their bullpen. Head coach Nathan Choate will get the left in number 10, Tabor Fast. Fast, a redshirt junior from Chehalis, Washington, played at Olympia High School, transferred into WSU from Texas Tech, a little homecoming for him. Had a rough go of it, 13.5 ERA over 14 2/3 innings. But he will be in to face the top of the lineup in the top of the 7th. The Cougs we saw yesterday, Zach, they lost the lead in this late innings of the game, and today they are not trying to do the same.
Yeah, they've been able to respond with good hits here, and they've continued their offense into the late game, and now they leave it into the hands of Tabor Fast, who will obviously at least try and get them to the 9th inning, you would imagine, ideally.
We have a pitch clock violation called by home plate umpire Cole Allenbrand on Tabor Fast.
Not the start you want.
Which is going to make this a ball before he's even thrown a pitch.
Not quite what you want to start with.
He delivers his first pitch, which is low. We're going to attribute this to mind games from the Cougs. Purposefully getting a pitch clock violation.
That could very well be the reason. And he is 0-1 in the year, and a little bit of inflated ERA, obviously, like you mentioned, 13.5.
Fast fires in another fastball, but it's going to miss outside. We have a 3-0 count early. Fast 14 walks to 6 strikeouts on the year. He's had a little bit of trouble controlling the zone. Pumps a fastball over there to keep this at-bat moving. As lefties in general for the Cougs, with Gavin Durr as well, 20 walks and a 15 ERA. Been a rough go. The 3-1 pitch is fired in, and Anthony Diaz is seemingly trusting the stats that he will get walked. But we have our second full count of the game, Zach. 3-2, no outs, top 7. Cougs up 7-3. Glove to his face. He fires in. It swung on and barely tapped foul.
Real good response here from Fast. This is what you love to see. 3-0, kind of a little bit of a rough start with the pitch clock violation, but he's able to battle back, and I think now he's got this count in his hands.
Diaz on the day is 1 for 2. He also reached and scored via an error on his liner to left earlier as the 3-2 pitch is waved on and missed. And a little stare down from Tabor Fast to Anthony Diaz at home plate.
And Diaz has the most hits on the team this year, coming into the game with 52. That is massive to be able to get that first out, especially with how he started.
The first Lobo to strike out since Gene Trujillo in the top of the 4th.
Of course, it was Gene Trujillo.
Carson Wasletsky steps in. Righty-lefty advantage here for him. As Fast misses way outside with a off-speed pitch. That one looked like it slipped out the hand. A looping curveball.
Just a bit outside.
More mind games. The second pitch is fired in for a strike at the knees of fastballs. I'm starting to think maybe Fast just likes to operate with a ball to start the counts.
He very well could. That could be his advantage. I mean, trying to think maybe the hitter to think they have the advantage to start.
He spikes that one at the feet of the shortstop for the Lobos.
A very diverse start here from Fast. He's kind of done everything, really.
He's all over the place. Someone call him effectively wild. He rises and fires in the 2-1 pitch. It's a check swing. It doesn't matter. It's a strike. Says home plate ump Cole Allen Brand.
He's definitely been inefficiently efficient so far here.
2-2 count. Looking for his second straight strikeout. Got the hitter on his heels. He sets and deals it in and is popped up shallow right field, ranging over his Hartman. Settles under, got the sunglasses on. Almost looks like he lost it for a second there at the end, shielding from the sun, but he finds it, and that's going to retire Carson Wasletsky, bringing up the 3-hole hitter, Lenny Ashby, 2 for 3 on the day. Had an RBI single in his last at-bat in the top of the 5th, as well as having that go-ahead knock yesterday late in the game. This is a guy that has given the Cougars trouble. As Fast fires in, and it hits Lenny Ashby right on the hands. As Fast, as we said, effectively wild. But that one is going to send Ashby down to first base, bringing up Gene Trujillo. 336 hitter, 5 home runs. We've seen him strike out twice today and ground out to short. Another lefty-lefty matchup here, Zach, from a guy that likes to strike out. You got to think this is probably, not to say it's a good thing that Ashby got hurt, but now he can't hurt you.
That's true. And I mean, honestly, you wonder what the situation is. Lefty-lefty, obviously you want to go inside, but maybe that's Gene Trujillo. Maybe he likes to turn on balls.
First pitch is skied. Sky-high pop-up, shallow center field. Northrop ranges back, settles under it. Makes the play. Tabor Fast. Not the cleanest inning, but an effective. No runs, no hits. And the Cougs move to the bottom of the 7th, protecting that 7-3 lead. Can they put this one out of reach, Zach?
I think they can. I think they certainly have enough confidence in Tabor Fast after that interesting start, you could say, to his tenure here in this game. But as we head to the 7th inning stretch, I do certainly believe the Cougars can keep this and hang on to their lead. As the music just mentioned a second ago, another one bites the dust.
We will be right back with you after this 7th inning stretch. Buckle up. We got a good one coming to an end here at Bailey Brayton Field. As Gavin Roy will step into the box looking for his first hit today. Josh Barnhouse will head back out for his 2nd inning of work. Roy, the contact hitting second baseman, 0 for 3, but he's put the ball in play. He shows to bunt, pulls it back. It's going to be ball 1 here to start the bottom of the 7th. Zach, it would be huge if Roy can get this inning started. It would really put this game away if the Cougs can tack on a couple more.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, obviously, you want to get and jump on Barnhouse early. He had not the greatest outing last time. Obviously, the Cougars were able to kind of pummel no matter who they put on the mound last time. 3 different pitchers, but again, the Cougars just trying to extend their lead, get more insurance as possible here.
Barnhouse fires in the 1-1. It is dropped by the catcher outside for ball 2.
Anytime the ball is dropped in a close kind of pitch at the plate by the catcher, that just minimizes your chances of getting it called a strike. So kind of a huge error there from the catcher, Williams.
Northrop now in the driver's seat, up 2-1. Barnhouse fires back. Heavyweight bout here. 2-2, no outs, bottom 7. Gavin Roy, the team leader in average, watches that one miss outside in the other batter's box as the count goes full again. On the year, Roy does have 21 walks to 21 strikeouts. Who will win here? It's going to be Roy as Barnhouse misses up and in there, it seemed. It was a close pitch, close take. Roy gets the call.
And now how short is the leash for beg your pardon, this new pitcher here? You got to wonder, just going forward with their pitching, who actually is going to have a little bit of a longer leash, and when are they going to take these guys out, obviously?
It brings up Hartman. He's singled and scored in a 1-for-3 day. Squares to bunt, gets a one down. It's going to be fielded by the pitcher. Will he be able to make the throw? Hartman got down there. He beats that out. The speedy Hartman puts down a bunt, beats it out, and that's going to be first and second. This is one of those situations where you could see the Cougs bunting again like they have so many times this year, as the big 240-pounder just couldn't get to that one in time and get out Hartman.
And that's a beautiful bunt. I mean, like you mentioned, that is pretty much perfection. The Cougars have done really well at playing small ball this season. That is more so their game. And now an opportunity to really put the Lobos under here.
The first pitch to Matt Priest is bounced in for a ball.
Nearly a pitch clock violation there.
There was a pitch clock violation?
Nearly.
Priest 2 for 3 on the day. Did drop that one in left. He would love to make up for that by knocking in a run here. 1-0 count. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He's had some wild swings today. I can't lie, Zach.
He has, but he has made up for it.
We saw him throw the bat in his first at bat and then knock in a couple runners. Maybe it's all about tactics.
Mind games. You
count
might
is
say.
even at one apiece. No outs. 2 on. Priest lines that one through the hole. Will they wave him in? No, they will not. We're going to have the bases loaded. No outs for the Cougs, with Dustin Robinson and Ryan Shonsby coming up to the plate. Textbook setting of the table, you will say. And Dustin Robinson is going to be the bus boy, cleaning up after. As we're going to have a pinch runner here. Number 7, Cole Watterson, is going to sub in for Robinson, who is DHing. Get a little speed on those bases here, as the mind games, as we mentioned, are continuing here. As also, it looks like we're going to have a pitching change here, Zach. Barnhouse's day is done after a walk, a bunt single, and then a real single. They got progressively more. We earned it progressively more.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, no one's surprised by this decision. I think the Lobos are really just trying to shuffle through their bullpen, trying to find somebody that they can rely on for the rest of the game. And it certainly wasn't Barnhouse. It wasn't Romero. And absolutely not, it wasn't Alvarez, who would have had to pitch nearly a full game. But, of course, they were raking him 13 hits today for the Cougars, a very high hit count. And now the Lobos in deep trouble. Bases loaded, not a single out in the inning. And they're going to try to give the ball to the hands.
Number 12. Taylor Grubbs, a 6.3 ERA in 15 innings, only giving up 1 homer. Speaking of homers, we have not seen one today, Zach. 22 hits on the day, no home runs. Bunch of old-fashioned baseball here. in Pullman this Sunday.
Small ball and singles and doubles, and not quite a triple yet, but lots down the line, just being able to find the holes here in the field. And, of course, this should be interesting, but we will let Grubbs warm up. Opportunity for a grand slam on the line. No outs. It is 7-3 Cougars, but they look to extend here when we come back.
So we welcome you back to Bailey Brayton. The bases are loaded. There's 0 outs. It's bottom 7. It's a massive game for the Cougs and the Lobos, respectively, for the Mountain West standings. Both these teams chasing that top spot. And the Cougs have a chance to deliver a knockout blow here. They have New Mexico on the rope, Zach. We have bases loaded for Dustin Robinson. The first pitch bounces in. Good block by the catcher. We're going to have a 1-0 count. Nowhere to put Robinson here. The Cougs will take a walk if Taylor Grubbs cannot find the zone.
Yeah, and Williams is going to have to obviously be on his toes a bit here. I mean, first pitch is in the dirt, and he's just going to have to be able to block the ball. I mean, you got bases loaded here. There really is no room for error, especially you're down 4.
Robinson's going to take a strike to even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike apiece. Robinson on the day, he has a double, a single, and a walk. They have not got him out yet. 1-1, no outs. He swings and misses at that one. Making this a 1-2 count. The one thing you do not want here, Zach, is a strikeout if you are the Cougars.
But is it really that much of a confidence booster? Because then you got to face Ryan Shonsby.
The 1-2 pitch, violently thrown in and a good defensive swing, fouling that one away by Robinson. Only a 230 hitter, but he's got the pop in the bat. 11 doubles, 3 homers on the year. And kind of the guy you want up, a big moment guy. 1-2. Robinson wiggles his bat. Here comes the pitch. He fouls it off. It goes right back over our heads. I'll be over near the parking lot back behind us. The count remains 1-2, 0 outs. Taylor Grubbs for the Lobos, tasked with getting out of this one. Here comes the pitch. It's swung on and chopped slowly to the first baseman. He feels it in foul territory. Interesting decision there from Trujillo. I feel like he could have fielded that and thrown it home, possibly gotten out, maybe 2 going back the other way.
I was going to say, you think he had a tag opportunity and possibly home. And obviously Gavin Roy's definitely got some wheels, but at least an opportunity there just to get an out. And maybe you leave the tag alone and just get the lead runner. Again, an opportunity for a force somewhere, but I guess they're going to give Dustin Robinson another chance, and maybe he'll make him pay here.
Grubbs let his arm hang down with the ball. Brings it back, comes set, fires home. It's high for ball 2.
What you can't do right here if you're the Lobos is let this guy go. You can't let Dustin Robinson go. You had him in a stranglehold, and now the count seems escapable.
It's even at 2. Here it comes. Swung on and missed. A great pitch from Grubbs. First out of the inning for the Lobos. Now we'll be up to Shonsby to not let this golden chance right here for the Cougs get away from them. If you don't score here, Zach, they have 2 more chances and can easily tie this game or take the lead.
And that's a momentum killer, absolutely, and a momentum swing for them if they can come out of this with no runs and then have 6 outs left to try and tie it, absolutely.
Shonsby takes first pitch up. He struck out, grounded out, and then doubled and scored last inning.
It'll be no easy task to get Ryan Shonsby out, at least without some damage.
The 1-0 pitch. 1 out, bases juiced, comes home. Shonsby's going to take it. That one catches the top of the zone. A very similar looking pitch. Must have just been a little lower to Cole Allen Brand's liking behind the dish there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 opportunity for Shonsby. Here it comes. Takes low for ball 2. Shonsby with a team lead, 8 home runs. Could you think of a better time for another?
80% of his hits are RBIs. It's unbelievable.
The 2-1 pitch. Fouled off, back over us again.
That one was a little bit closer to us.
I thought Zach might be able to go full Odell Beckham Jr. right there.
The wall wasn't there. I was gonna dive and grab that one.
Zach. He jumped off, made the catch though.
That's what matters. That's what matters.
Evens the count at 2-2, 1 out, bases juiced. Grubbs looks in, sends it home. It's high. Now we have a full count. You gotta throw a strike here if you're Taylor Grubbs, and Shonsby knows that. He's gonna be looking for something to hit. Do not chase anything out of the zone.
Don't let anything close go.
Here it comes. It's a little dribbler on the third base line. What is Terrace going to do? He's going to go to first, and it's a wide, high throw. Everybody's safe. I don't know if that's going to be an error. That was a tough play. Put the ball in play, Zach, like we said earlier, and good things happen.
I know that's a tough play, but I almost wonder if he could have still made it home, if that might have been the easier play, and if that were still able to be made. Obviously, Gavin Roy, again, we know he has wheels, but I do believe there was probably a play at the plate to be made. He chooses to go to first. It's a tough play across the diamond, tough throw, and unfortunately pulls his first baseman off in Trujillo and nobody out there, and that hurts.
Brings up the man of the game, 3 for 3, 2 doubles. Ollie Obenauer takes fastball up for ball 1. They ruled that one a hit for Shonsby. I thought he should have come home too, Zach.
I wonder why he didn't. The pressure, maybe.
He was charging in on it. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. A good cut, though, from Obenauer. If he would have connected with that, we might be talking about something onto the street out there beyond left field.
Beyond the 400 mark out there in center.
The wind has shifted a little bit now, blowing out more towards center, right center. So Obenauer's going to take a strike. Down 1-2 now. Still only 1 out after that little Shonsby squibber. Bases are still juiced. Cougs are up 8-3, bottom 7. Trying to win this series against a Mountain West rival. Obenauer, another soft little puncher that just finds its way into the outfield, Zach. That is the 3rd time today. He has tormented Akili Karras at third base all day with just getting it by him.
Yeah, when we talked about it, right? The Cougars are just finding gaps. They are finding the holes in the infield. And it's really not a lot you can do defensively if you're the Lobos. They haven't made an error all game per se, but they're just being able to find the gaps. And sometimes it is your day when you're hitting, and sometimes it's not your day on the defensive side. And I think that that's kind of what we're seeing with the Lobos here. 15 hits for the Cougars. They have hit the crap out of the ball today. And now we're getting a substitution hitting-wise, and this will be Mason Perello coming in to pinch hit for McLeod.
A freshman from Sammamish, Washington, taking the place of Cam McLeod in the 8th, which means the Cougs will have a new catcher as Perello is an outfielder. As he takes strike 1. Perello hitting 265 on the year. Here comes the 0-1. It's low. Gets past that. We're going to have a play at the plate. No, not even close. Passed ball gets through the catcher. And Cole Watterson, who came into pinch run, uses that speed, makes this game 9-3.
Absolutely. The Edmonds Community College transferred his way over to first base a little bit ago to pinch run, and he transfers his way home on a pass ball that just can't happen. That's one thing that you just can't give up, especially you're already down quite a bit. That's just going to take the wind out of the sails here.
And it takes away the double play here. Perello waves and misses. 1-2 count. Perello needs to just put the ball in play here. The infield is playing in, but I still think any ground ball, Shonsby's probably going to get the wave.
And I think this is kind of a good at bat for Pereira. The pressure's off. I mean, anything he does here is really fine.
He swings and pops this one up foul behind home plate.
I think this at bat has turned into more of a look at him for Coach Nathan Choate. I think, again, he doesn't really have a responsibility to do anything here. Cougs are up 7. They're still in out. Runners in scoring position. Can't hit into a double play. Just try and put it in play here.
The right-hander deals to the right-hander who swings and chases. It's going to be a drop third. He looks back the runner, tosses it down. Routine out for the Lobos, as there's now 2 outs for Tyler Northrup. Can he come in clutch, Zach? This would be a massive time to do it.
No doubt about it. And, of course, again, like you said, we haven't seen one over the wall yet. He's been hot this month. Maybe an opportunity for him to push one over the 330 on either side or even the 400 there in deep center. But now 2 outs. The base hit here could really add 2 more.
Looking for his first hit of the game, and he's going to find it with the line drive. They're going to wave Ollie Oberauer, who's got the hamstring injury. It's going to be a close play at the plate. He needs to get down, and he is hosed. Another risky send from third base coach. That's the second play that the Cougs have gone out on to end an inning at the plate. They do score, though.
I think you need
4 runs in the inning, making this 11-3. Is a great inning for the Cougs. Really going to take the pressure off this bullpen to close this one out.
I think we need a bullpen for the third base coach.
I don't disagree. When we come back, it'll be the top of the 8th. As a new pitcher will be coming in for the Cougs. We will get you who that is when we come back. Cougs score 4, 11-3. You're listening to KUGR.
And so the Cougs will send out a new mound. This will be number 34, Brock Blatter. And he has had some starting experience for the Cougars before. He is 1-1 on the year and an 8.78 ERA. And he will come in to try and at least give the closer an opportunity to close it out. And, well, being up 8 runs, it would have to be a pretty disastrous inning from him to essentially not do his job. There is kind of a very low bar minimum here for him to do. And I think that the Cougars and everyone else here at Bailey Brayton, packing in the Crimson, have the confidence in him to do so. The Cougars trying to move to 11-5 at home, and of course, in a big monumental win for them if they can do it.
Yeah, as Brock Blatter, the USC transfer, going to take over redshirt junior, coming off some Tommy John. He started some games for Nathan Choate's Cougars. Today, he's going to get the 8th and probably the 9th, I would assume.
And actually, we also have a catching change for the Cougars. It'll be Jaguar coming in to replace McLeod. So Jaguar will put the gear on and get behind the dish. Obviously, McLeod was pinch hit for last inning. So that's where that kind of comes in. Obviously, Mason Pareo came in to try and do some damage. He was unable to, but again, the Cougars made up for it. 4 runs in that last inning to extend their 4-run lead to 8. And now just 6 outs away from a monstrous win against New Mexico. The first pitch of the inning is going to be a little bit low for ball. Blatter not starting exactly how he wants, and that's actually ball 2. So again, trying to recover here a little bit.
It's Blatter's first appearance out of the bullpen for the Cougs this season. He's appeared 6 games, started all of them.
And, as a pitcher, what can that maybe do a little bit for a comfortability factor when you're normally a starter and you come into relief?
It's different. You're coming out of the bullpen already in the game. You're not the first pitcher they're seeing. These batters are already warmed up. and it's just a process thing. It's a different process. So some people that messes with, and some people it doesn't. We'll see how Bladder can handle the new challenge here for him. Currently 3-1 count, so not going well so far, but we saw Fast kind of dance around some hitters' counts and have success.
These pitchers have been inefficiently efficient for Washington State, especially Fast, who was a little bit all over the place, but made it happen. Really didn't give up anything. And he has made the count full here. It's almost like pinch hitting. Pinch hitting is one of the hardest things to do, being cold off the bench and trying to come in and make something happen in one at-bat. And the full count is in the turf, and we have one aboard here for the Lobos. That will be Manzi trotting his way to first base, but I'm sure kind of a long leash here for the mound, and Bladder, just because you're up 8.
Bladder can give up 7.
Realistically.
Get 6 outs in the process.
Somewhere along, get 6 outs. And
he's got an 8.78 ERA on the year. Looking to lower that.
Do you think if he does well here, with the first pitch being in there for a strike, do you think if he does well in this inning, maybe gives up no runs or maybe 1, do you think they bring in a different closer, or do you think they just stay with him?
I think he's going to be the guy. I mean, you're bringing in a starter out of the bullpen. He's not like mop-up duty because we are winning, but just go get the 6 outs and close this game out.
And that is a checkup. Only the second one of the game. This time it is a strike. And so a good appeal there from catcher Jaguar. And now instead of a 1-1, it'll be an 0-2 as they caught Karras swinging, or at least attempting to. And Akili Karras trying to just make something happen. He's got 1 aboard, no outs. Here's the 0-2 delivery. That one is maybe a little bit low and inside for ball 1. It's an 11-3 lead for the Cougars. 16 hits for them today. They have been on fire. The sticks have been going for them, to say the least. And they have jumped out to a really comfortable lead after the 7th inning stretch and the bottom of the 7th. As the 4th pitch of the at-bat will be low for ball 2. And so now it'll even up the count.
Can't lose him here. You had him 0-2. Need to get an out here.
Obviously, you're a little bit more relaxed, up 8. Nothing hurt here if you walk him or anything like that, but obviously you don't want to lose him. This one thrown low again. So he's missed there about 3 straight pitches.
Back-to-back full counts.
You don't want consecutive walks, and you don't want a consecutive ball here, which would be losing an 0-2 count. Here is the full. Runner will go. That one hit back to second. Oh, no. It is caught, and a double play. Just when you think it can't get worse for the Lobos, it does. Manzi's tagged out, and a hit and run goes awry. Double play for the Cougars.
That was just unlucky for the Lobos. If he doesn't steal, that ball's in center field, and you're probably looking at first and third, no outs. Brock Bladder, I'll tell you what, he will take that 10 days out of 10 days.
And obviously, just kind of story of the game for the Lobos. They have put the ball in play quite a bit. 9 hits themselves, obviously not 16, but 9 hits and only 3 runs to show for it. And really, when looking at the Cougars hitting today, there has just been a lot of those kind of floater hits that have found the gaps, been just enough, as this one is grounded over to Roy. Easy, routine play out of the 8th inning for the Cougars defensively. As we head to the bottom of the 8th, 3 up and 3 down, 3 outs left for the Lobos. They're down 8 and maybe more. Cougars heading up to hit one more time in this one. We will welcome you back to Bailey Brayton here in just a moment, heading to the bottom of the 8th here in the Palouse on KUGR. Back here in the Palouse, bottom of the 8th inning, Cougars just trying to close things out. We'll see if they are able to. Of course, they likely are. If you were to bet on this, you probably would have quite a high percentage. 11-3 in a heck of a game from them. They have given up one error, but of course it hasn't really mattered. An 8-run advantage from them heading into inning 8. In the bottom half of that here at home, and a big series win it would be if they can just hold out. Likely that will happen. But again, we will see the same pitcher we saw in the last inning. And a bunt attempt here from Trevor Smith. Unsuccessful. And so it will be Taylor Grubb still in the mound. The first pitch ends up being a strike and a foul ball off a bunt attempt. Weird that they're bunting up 8 with the leadoff guy, but obviously Trevor Smith 1 for 4 today with a double, and then 3 groundouts, 2 to second, 1 to short on the shift, right where they are now. And an 0-1 swung on and missed for Smith. It looked like maybe an off speed on the outside. Ends up being an 0-2.
Smith looking to get back in that groove. Has seen his average dip in the recent months. Still hitting 294. Shows you how strong he started the season.
Absolutely. And this is an off speed. Looked like it was perfect. Taken for Trevor Smith and a backwards K for him. And so the first out of the inning, his double did result in essentially the Noah Thine injury. He was walked off the field with a towel to his face. He caught a tag up high, it seemed, on a slide at home plate when he was out. We hope he is okay, but we have not seen him since. There's been 2 catchers to come in that followed him as now Gavin Roy comes to the plate. Gavin Roy swung on one way in the turf. An uncharacteristic hack at that one will result in an 0-1 start.
3 Ks for Grubbs now. He's recorded 4 outs, so definitely nasty, but we also, Cougs have got him for a lot of singles as well.
Hey, he might be the most efficient strikeout pitcher of this game. And well, he hits Gavin Roy and puts him on first, but I don't think any of the pitchers to this point have had more than a few strikeouts, so 4 is not a bad number, but of course, like you said, he's also given up a couple of singles.
Right as we talk about his strikeouts, he plunks Roy right on the numbers.
And not what you need at all. And coming into the meat of the order now with Hartman.
It's the Cougs, they can close this out. They have a chance to be tied for first in the conference standings.
Cole Watterson on deck. Obviously, he was put into pinch hit, but it looks like he will also, pinch run. But it looks like he will also come in to hit in this one as he awaits Max Hartman's at bat. First ball taken, and now the 1-0 count. This one foul tipped into Williams' glove, and it will be a 1-1 count there with 1 out. 11-3 with the Cougars lead. If you're just joining us, it has been a dominant performance from the Cougars offensively. They have an 8-run lead in the bottom of the 8th.
We saw Hartman get a bunt single his last time. Does he try and do it again?
He will leave that one for an outside strike, and so now 1-2 count. Like you said, bunting, Cougars are not scared to do that. We saw Trevor Smith attempt to bunt to start this inning, up 8. Interesting kind of scenario there. Maybe that's because he has struggled a little bit for the most part. Here's one back up the middle. What a play almost made. Unfortunately, getting away from the glove of Wasilewski. It hit off of his glove, but he couldn't quite get enough of it on a diving attempt. And so, no error. That will be marked a hit, of course. A tough play to be made. And now you bring up Watterson. His first hack and attempt in the box. He's been around the bases, of course, but that was not to his credit per se. And now we will get maybe a mound visit, and now it's seemingly pitch comm error here. Yeah,
I don't think Wisniewski would have had a play there, but he probably saved the ball from getting to center fielder. I think Roy would have ended up at third there, so he keeps the double play in order at first and second. 1 out here, bottom 8.
I think you're right, and I think looking at something in the dugout here, kind of pointing back to it, but maybe they've got everything settled that they want.
I feel fairly confident in predicting a bunt here from Cole Watterson.
I think so. I think that's what his purpose is.
I think that's the sign he's getting.
Okay.
I hope he hits.
Hopefully not from third base coach, because then he might get sent all the way to third on a bunt.
He's hitting 0.32 on the year.
Well,
in 31 at bats, he has 1 hit, 5 runs though.
well, there you go.
Mainly uses a pinch runner.
He's got speed, and we'll see if he's got any contact ability here. 1-0 count to start. And this one's sent out to center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. And they are going to send Roy. The throw in, of course, not even going to be made. Roy makes it 12-3 on a single from Cole Watterson, and you couldn't have been more wrong.
Second hit of the year for Cole Watterson. It's the reason I'm up here and not in the dugout with a horrendous prediction.
You were confident too, and I can't blame you. I mean, a scenario like that, you've got only 1 out. It could have been a bunt just to advance the runners and get a very big hitter in Dustin Robinson up. Actually, no, it won't be Dustin Robinson. They're going to sub out here as they get a mound visit. Instead, the man in the box with a new pitcher coming in.
Dane Chavez, the freshman from Kennewick, Washington, has a bat. He is the on-deck circle, the lefty infielder. I don't know if Robinson's hurt or if it's just a 12-3 game and get this guy an at-bat. What do you think?
I think so. I think we've kind of seen that a couple times. I think the look, even with, again, before especially with Watterson, but also with Mason Pareo, just kind of get these young guys looks, get them experience here in the game, get them some ABs. But it looks like we will have a new bump indeed for the Lobos, as they're just trying to escape out of this game at this point, just trying to end it as soon as possible. At least I would be. And it's going to be Luke Wiseman, a redshirt senior. The 6-foot-tall individual will warm up, and we will go away. Runners on the corners, 1 away for the Cougars, trying to extend their 12-3 lead in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be back. And we'll start off with Dane Chavez for pitcher Luke Wiseman. We saw Dane Chavez in the last game that me and Will called here. We were in the booth at the time. He had a pretty solid performance in a 7-4 winning effort over Gardner Webb in game 2 of that series. And he comes in here to pinch hit. And, of course, like we mentioned kind of before we went off the air, probably just a look for him as a young individual on this team, and a very comfortable lead for the Cougs, and a possible comfortable spot for an extension of that. Runners on the corners, a 1-0 count here with 1 away in the bottom of the 8th. Chavez chops it swiftly to second. They will throw it home, and that's going to be an error, a mental error at that. The throw home is dropped by Williams. Can't make the tag.
The ump, I think the second base ump is calling out.
Hey, you're right.
Cole Watterson.
Maybe interference.
I don't know how they could call interference there. He was in the base path.
Now a discussion here. So Cole Watterson, who earlier, like you mentioned, thought he was going to bunt. He has had a rough time at the plate this year. Not too many times, but has come into pinch hit every now and again. And they only hit about 1 for 30-something. And gets a single to score a run. And now we have a scored run, at least momentarily. The play should have been probably a double play to get out of the inning, but he threw it home, which would have been a tag play, not a force. Why, I'm not sure, but now a discussion here between
the umpires is, unfortunately, Air Force and Nevada both are looking like they're going to win today. Both have big leads in their respective games. which means the Cougs will not be able to take that first place tie today, but they will be able to move up right behind them, nipping at their heels
Say at
if
least
they can close this out.
Absolutely. And I mean, at least a third place look here for the Cougars going into the month of May can be pretty big for them. And again, when was the last time they've really been back up in this position? They've had a good year, and they will really be putting an exclamation point on this series, especially. But again, a discussion is Ryan Shawnsby waits. And again, like you mentioned, he leads the team with 8 home runs. We saw him put one out of right field last time around, right by that American flag, which is waving now with the inconsistent wind that has been kind of in and out today. And
that's going to do
That's going to do it.
10-run rule with the no interference call. It's going to get the Cougs the win here, win the series, and position themselves to strike on either Air Force or Nevada in that chase for that Mountain West title.
So we thought arguably this was going to be something of a decision about safe or out, but I guess it was if the game was over or not.
That makes sense why he threw home now.
That does. I guess we were in the wrong once again.
I mean, I'm a 9-inning guy. I come here to play 9 innings, but I get it.
Hey,
everyone Cougar fan can go get those Sunday chores done now as the Cougs blow out University of New Mexico 13-3 in 8 innings here on this Sunday afternoon at Bailey Brayton. Really a great offensive showing, and honestly deep pitching as well.
Absolutely.
For the Cougs. Everything firing on all cylinders, and if they didn't choke away that game last night, we've been looking at a sweep,
which would have been huge, absolutely huge. And again, as this game has come to an end, they gather out in left field. The Lobos are sent packing, and they were beat pretty bad here, 13-3, and the run rule reached in the 8th inning. Rules are rules, but again, like I said, there's a reason we're up here. We don't always know the exact ins and outs, especially at this level, but nonetheless, the clouds that have given us a surrounding circumstance here are now seemingly moving toward us. And so we will head away and escape that as the game has come to an end. Washington State wins the series with a 13-3 run rule win, 18-9 doubling the Lobos' hits. And they will head into late April and the month of May with a series win over the Lobos, pushing themselves and propelling themselves to 3rd place in the conference, nipping at the heels of Nevada. And of course, company, we will head away. Thank you for joining us here on KUGR on April 26th episode of Cougar Baseball, a win for Washington State. I'm Zach McFarlane, joined by Will Arthur. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next time. If you like it, subscribe, please. We would love to see that, and have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon all at home.
Go Cougs.